Hello, creatives. Welcome to Artist Star. My name is Beth, and I'm here at the gallery to do a tarot reading for Leo season and the three decans. I'll also offer a bit of astrology guidance as to how we might all navigate what we receive from Source and how to use any messages for your card placement. If you haven't gotten your own personal cards of truth birth chart yet, I've put a link below to create a free one at Ernest Wellham's website. Let's start with a quick review about what we all can expect energy-wise over this month in the fixed fire sign of Leo, who is ruled by the sun and whose zodiacal home is the fifth house of creativity. And then I'll talk about Leos and their energy vibrations, and then we'll get to the three decan readings. Okay, so for everyone, the fifth house is how you or self shows up to enjoy life. How you go get what you want to make yourself happy. How you justify your happiness. The fifth house is in charge of pleasure, love, and fun. And in Vedic astrology, the fifth cusp includes how consistent you are and what you choose to be knowledgeable about, as in choice of education and what kind of student you are, your interests and pursuits. You can see how this house will reflect your choices in life depending on how imaginative and outgoing you are. The fifth house is a very imaginative, expressive place, depending on your personal chart, because it's all about self. The sun gives us all direction and purpose. After all, it is really a star that brings energy to who we are at our core being, our ego, our identity, how you reason and interpret the world. Embracing and aligning with your own sun sign is essential to your happiness. If you're not in alignment, in my humble opinion, it's most likely has to do with a karmic past life conflict that you are here to clear in order to get back on track. It's important to consider what cards you have in the cards of truth sun placement. In the first position, it will tell you even more about what and how you are striving to establish about your persona and aura. And of course, aces are important, as they are the first position in the cards of truth chart. For example, I have the Five of Diamonds in that first position of sun. I've got a lifetime of sorting through what I truly value in life and then making the most of it. Growing up here in Maine, we moved around a lot every year or so, 9 schools in 12 years. My father, who was a wanderer at heart, was looking for better paying teaching jobs. He would come home with a pile of boxes and say, "We're moving, grab your 2 boxes and pack light. It's all we've got room for." I learned early, and one of my happiest times was in my late 30s after going through a divorce and the kids had left home, and could put everything I owned and several boxes that I was holding for the kids in the back of my station wagon. I could probably do the same today if I really wanted to. Light is good. All right. So the fire element can express itself by showing up bold and impulsive, as well as brash and temperamental. To engage with a person with a lot of fire in their chart is an energizing experience. The conversation, the physical need to move, and the love of stimulation can either keep you energized or burn out. Fun at a party, but you need to be able to hold your own in this company. So the fixed qualities include being responsible and goal-oriented, a stubborn disposition that comes in handy when needing to stand up to something in a challenging situation. However, it can also be the other end of the spectrum and be so incredibly resistant to change, it's to their own detriment. So, since astrology is ultimately about self, now we can see the sign of Leo is here to figure out how to embrace their larger than life personality with the natural tendencies of being a force of nature, while they realize how to make room for the rest of the world. Leo's fixed nature has many wonderful attributes like stability, being grounded and self assured, a rock for those around you. It can also be stubborn and resistant to change. For a Leo, change in who you believe yourself to be. For better or worse, it can be asking a lot to ask a Leo to change a belief about themselves. Having the sun as a ruler gives Leo a naturally inviting aura of vitality and creativity. At best, you'll feel the love as they radiate warmth and generosity while working on balancing how they show up in the world and such an authentic intensity and drive. There is a beautiful confidence laced with straightforwardness, along with kindness and positivity, a courageous strength and willingness to move forward in shaping your action oriented self. There is an ease about achieving success without too much risk or effort. How nice is that? So let's remember that the sun is a masculine planet and considered yang, and the balances out the moon's feminine yin in your chart. The major arcana card for Leo is the strength card, acquiring a knowingness and balance of strengths and weaknesses, having that ego in check, and again, being about finding inner harmony. The shadow side, the shadow side complications have to do with keeping a rein on that exuberance, which can look a lot like arrogance or actually be a false confidence, not to mention a hot temper. As an example, those who are parenting as a light attribute, it is a joy, giving freely of themselves and truly wanting the best for the children. However, as a shadow attribute, parenting can become an obsession while overly identifying and taking it personally as to how successful the children are, and see it as a reflection of themselves and become too rigid, a disciplinarian. Other shadow character flaws can be seeking attention at any cost. Others can be a dark, hidden force of subversive and vindictive behavior. It makes the lower end of the vibrational meter unreliable and possessive. The catch-22 is pretty obvious. It looks a lot like it's a lot to ask a fixed fire sign to change a self-belief about themselves. It's a constant struggle of light and shadow self-actions within the parameter of who you call self. Either way, it's a self-driven force to be reckoned with. So kudos to those of you Leos who are doing the deep work. The thing to remember here is Leos are ruled by the sun, which equals self. So it's going to be deep and about who you truly are at your core being. A true fifth house creative battle within between ego and spirit. It's a lot. The best day of the week for sun ruled Leo is Sunday, and the most potent day for any one of us to manifest with spell work or any other kind of energy shifting in your own favor. Whew, okay, we're going to get started. This should be interesting. Let's get started with the tarot reading for Leo season and the 3 decans. I am going to first ask, during this time of Leo season and the 3 decans, what about self needs to be brought to attention and clarified at this time? I'm using the archetype cards to see where we are being invited to take an inner look. Then my cards of truth, spirit, and nature deck. This is for direction to go deeper by pulling the thread. You can follow that through with your chart. It might lead you to even a deeper understanding. Then, more helpful clarification with the Lenormand cards. They will pinpoint just that little bit more for us and round that out just a little bit more. And last, we're going to finish with a loving starseed card, message of encouragement. All right, let's take a look at first Decan Leo, which runs from July 23rd through August 1st. This decan is also ruled by the sun, so it's a sun-sun subruled here. So it's doubled down in the vibrance of you. The sun is warm and powerful, so your persona is going to fill up space. You can be a natural-born charmer that excludes enthusiasm and passion. There can be a generosity and giving nature about you. You are not afraid of hard work and will put every effort into what is important to you. The shadow side or catch-22 within this first decan can show up as wanting attention and also having a great intolerance for looking weak or feeling overlooked. Pride can get the better of this first decan. So let's turn over the archetype card and see where you are being invited to take a deeper look. So we get the healer card. Interesting. The healer card is about passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. The ability to help transform pain into healing. What a beautiful card for a sun healer to get here. And how creative that could be. The shadow attributes, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. Yeah, there's all that, isn't there? You know, it's going to be a very interesting month, realizing that it is all about that inner balance that we are all facing. That's that 5th house. It's Leo season. It's whatever you have there is going to add a lot to what this reading brings. So the healer could be like a caregiver. It could be a nurse, a therapist, right? Or, you know, in the creative world, it could be putting out such a happy, gorgeous, vibrancy vibe with you, what you do as for work or art, and bring that into other people's lives. Just boost their down feeling with an up feeling. So art can do that at its really best. Transport you to someplace better than where you are at the moment. So with this healer card here, it can be about manifesting. It is a manifesting around improving a passion to serve, in respect to others, that sun sign, right? So we're always trying to figure out what's going to make the improvements. This is where you want to go and look and see what you've got in your sun position, being that first decan. What's there for you? That is going to add a lot to your aura and what you're striving to bring into who you are, your persona. So it can also be about inheriting strengths and ability to assist people in transforming their pain into a more healed person. It's like, I was saying with the art, you could channel energy into the art, and it could actually generate physical and emotional changes. I've seen it, here at the gallery. Somebody will walk by something and they just stop in their tracks to take a look. And it does transport them, whether it's an abstract or realistic art, it doesn't matter. It is all about touching some inner warmth to someone's heart. It is a beautiful thing to witness. So again, it is about you figuring out who you are through that sun position of your chart. That is where you want to look for this healer attributes and see how you can bring that want or need, that passion of yours to help with bringing that forth from your personality to that giving, right? What you can give back to society would be there. That is really okay. Let's look at the cards of truth, spirit, and nature. So we've got the 7 of clubs. This is an interesting card to get here. We're looking at the Tower card. This is a black 7. It's Saturn related. This is the deeper life lessons that are learned in a more concrete, more stable, long-lasting way. And it's about letting go, and it's about having that 7 of clubs is also, with that tower connotation, can be a sudden bolt of lightning clarity, right? Just boom, you see through your delusions, through any mistruths that are there that need to be cleared. So it can be more like a chaos for spiritual enlightenment. The 7s are truly here to rise again and again and again with reinventing who they are through these lightning bolt realizations. Something will come to you as fate on your path, and it changes you, and you wake up and you're like, oh, immediately, like an epiphany in the moment. And it is about you letting go of whatever's unhealthy, whatever you see. It's you becoming less of a victim and moving more into that warrior self. And as a Leo, you can really relate to that. If anybody needs someone to stand up for themselves or for someone else, it's a Leo. You do it better than anyone. There's a reason why you are related to that Leo, the lion, right? It's that roar that just is huge. And like I said, takes up space, especially in this first decan sun 10 days. It's big. So, okay, so you're looking at coming into some realization of self. So again, I'm feeling that it's that first position in your sun position. Go and see what you have there, and it will give you some direction as to where to look for digging a little deeper into what you need to let go of as baggage so that whatever baggage you let go of can be replaced with that exuberance that will bring that lightness, that healthy cleanse to whatever it is that you are doing for the greater good, how you show up for service. And wow, I mean, you would just, it's like, talk about making lemonade out of lemons. And it's one of my favorite things to say, but it is such a sevens thing to do. It's what I believe we're meant here to be here to do. And it's all about that attitude. You really have to do it with this lightness of being, which is going to be a struggle for a Leo. It is about that inner balance that's so hard, being that fixed sign and having these rooted beliefs about yourself. So it's going to be a pretty interesting awakening for you to transform. So we're talking about your intellectual pursuits here with the club's card. So it's all about how you acquire that knowledge, right? Now remember, earlier in the Vedic astrology, it's all about how you choose what you want to learn, what kind of student you are. So here you are learning through mistakes. Beautiful, really. So deep and profound that it truly sets you on a different path. And that's how you know what you need to share. Best lessons learned. All right, let's take a look at the Lenormand card. So you got the birch rod. This is all about sweeping it out, just getting rid of it, getting rid of the baggage, build a fire and burn it. Actually or metaphorically, set that bag of crap on fire and get rid of it. You don't need it. It is not serving you. It is holding you back from being the light that you as a sun are meant to be. You want to take that fire element of yourself and put it to good use. Take it and fan the flames, because whatever it is that you are letting go of, and that you can add to whatever is in your first sun placement in your Cards of Truth chart. That's where you want to go. That's where you want to look and learn. That's where you're going to figure out exactly what you need to be doing. So you're being invited to take an inner look as to how you are a healer with whatever it is that you're doing, how you bring that light of yourself to improve someone else's existence. It's the biggest kind of giving, right? And then you're being asked where to go for direction, right? You're going to pull the thread on what you can let go of for baggage. And then we're looking at this, how to clarify this, and it is to get rid of it completely. Don't hang on to it. Get rid of it, even if you don't know what's up or what's next for you. You will see it. It will come. It will reveal itself just as soon as you make room. Wow. It's really kind of big and deep. You're going to let something go. Now, the shadow attributes of a 7 of clubs, okay? We need to talk about that too, because it can also relate here to that battle within, what that voice in your head is going to be talking about when you start to let go of this bag, because ego doesn't like it. It's a form of control, and it is could come across looking like feeling that victim mindset that is so ready for the clubs, the 7 of clubs to any 7, really, get into that victim mindset. So you want to stay out of that. You want to stay out of being the perpetrator, which a Leo could easily do. Pick up that torch and go find a battle, to rage against the machine. Or, defender, all of your patients who are not necessarily patients, but people in your life, people around you who thrive on your energy, that always walk away feeling better. You might want to step in and defend someone, but it could also come across as feeling really kind of overwhelmed and fearful. These are all the shadow attributes of the 7 of clubs, which you can see could relate so easily to that battle within. It's going to get really creative. That is your house. It's how you love, how you find pleasure. So those are the battles that are going to rage in order to let go of whatever it is that needs letting go. So stay out of the self-pity and don't complain. Right? These are all 7 things that need to be addressed, and it is all going to be about how to improve whatever is in that first position of your sun placement. That's where you want to look, because it's going to be about that something needs to be let go and swept away. All right, best of luck to you. Let's see what the starseed cards have. Celebration. Celebrate your achievements. You truly are a gift to the universe. That is sweet. Yes, you are. Beautiful reading. Wow, that's deep. I knew these were going to be deep. It's all about self. It's all about that inner battle. And this is the sign for improving who you are at your core. Wow, doing the work. Okay, kudos to you. Let's move on to Decan number 2. So the second Decan runs from August 2nd to August 12th. This Decan is ruled by the expansive, joyful Jupiter. Also added to your charmer abilities is fun-loving and free-spirited. Learning is a must, and you crave knowledge to broaden your mind and gather philosophy to think about. There is a solid, courageous willingness about you. You don't back down from a challenge. You thrive on solving problems and difficulties, which you naturally turn into amazingly funny, self-deprecating stories. You are a true entertainer who loves being at the center of attention, which of course brings about that catch-22 or shadow side of this Decan, is the need to remain in the limelight, and that can become a needy seeking validation from an outside source instead of within self. This can cause resentment and being judgmental when you don't get the attention. All right, so we are going to look at the archetype card and see where you are being invited to take a closer look. Hero and heroine. The light attributes here are passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Oh, that would be the ultimate, wouldn't it? And the shadow attribute is escapism and a false sense of heroism. Yeah, wow. So this is kind of big because for a self, right? This is the sun self, that sun position. So again, go and see what you have there, because it's all about that for these readings. This is about you becoming a bigger, better, more vibrant version of who you are at your core. Getting more of that balance within so that you can have that conversation. Be open, that fixed sign that you are. Be open to taking a second look and seeing the possibilities here. So, this is a great way to go about convincing yourself to do exactly that. You, with all of that craving knowledge, and it's that what I had said in the beginning of that fifth cusp in Vedic. It is about how you go about getting your knowledge and what you do with it. It's really a very interesting position for a Leo who is striving to just have that inner balance. So for you, this is really about being a hero and confronting any difficulties, right? Any obstacles. This is about really awakening your inner spiritual power. It's about achieving that vision that a hero would have. And ultimately, it's about service, right? Serving the greater good, serving your community. So, how to go about doing that, right? It is about conquering your fears, and it's about fears about whatever could come up for you on your journey, whatever fate that you bump into. Every day there are pockets of energy out there, and they can either empower or they can take away. And all of it just kind of can pull the rug out from under any kind of heroic intentions that you may have to do the best, and end up in that judgmental or in that resenting position. That is not a great place, because that just feeds that ego, which is all about saddling you with baggage so that there's this control over that big nature of yours. It is about realizing that and being able to loosen the reins and just give yourself that head where you can run with something and not feel too tethered. You just want to take the bridle off and allow yourself to be free thinking and outside the box. It's all for the better. Anytime that you feel like you can't, that's an obstacle, right? So you want to pull the thread on that and have a deeper look. It's going to take you far, because this is about a passion for a journey of personal empowerment. There's no other way that you can gather the kind of energy that you need to gather to manifest anything for yourself, including empowering yourself to give freely. Once you do that, once you are full of it and you understand the balance around it, that is where you can truly show up and give of yourself to the point where anything about you is going to raise another person's vibration. You can't help it. It's Jupiter energy. It's beautiful. It's you just being a bright, joyful light that brings it. And when you run up into anything of the catch-22 or the shadow, turn it around and make it work for you. There is another self-deprecating depth of something that is going to turn it for you. So check your sun position and see what card you have there, because this is where you are being asked to go on that journey. Let's see what my cards of truth, spirit, and nature deck have for you. The Two of Diamonds. Oh man, this is beautiful. It's you being given this opportunity to connect to something of value. Big thing to know and learn and remember about the twos, and especially the diamonds. It's an opportunity. You've still got to get in there and do the work. You still got to get your hands dirty with whatever comes across your plate. But you can turn it into something beautiful. We're talking about the diamonds here, so we're talking about skills and talents and finances. This is the earthy, rooted roots of the tree. It's you just digging in your toes and feeling that strength of the earth and being able to produce something that is so beautiful and so worthy and so valued that it's so worthwhile. It's a worthwhile new start. It's a connecting. It is independent wealth. It's gorgeous. The downside of a Two of Diamonds, if you run into any of this during the shadow work of the reading, just to remember that it could be a compromising situation where you are put in the middle of something that you don't know which way to turn. And you got to take a breath there and really see if you're feeling like you are lacking the resources to deal with something, or if it's feeling limited in some way. The other part of that could be feeling unworthy. And that's where, some of that not being in that limelight, not having the attention that you're seeking. You've just cracked a joke and nobody's laughing. What's up with that? You always get the laughs. But that's the kind of thing, right? So what does that do? Well, there's your thread. There's where you start to pull and you recognize, and you've got to stay open. You can't sink into that earthy, fixed energy that this Two of Diamonds could bring your way. This is moon energy as well, and Empress energy. So with the moon, this is, you checking your moon in the chart, see what card you have in your moon position, and see where your moon is in your chart. And how strong is it? Is it compromised? Could it lend anything to feeling what your way through that compromising situation, if that's what comes up with you? Or, is it something of an opportunity that you are so ready to embrace, that this Empress, this fertility, right? Real or metaphorically. So be careful, depending on what you want and what you're looking for. But it's an abundance. It's good luck. It's beauty. And best of all, it's creative. You and your fifth house of creativity. Just embrace this and understand that, whatever the moon is doing, whether it's growing or whether it's waning, it is all about you and taking advantage of whatever comes your way, whatever this connection for that value is. I'm getting the idea, the message here that this could be your next leg up. That how you are the entertainer, how you bring that to your service for the greater good. It's you getting that next opportunity to really improve upon your venue of things, how many people that you can reach and the reaction that you get towards that. Whether that is a body of work that you are now getting the opportunity of the idea to do something around, a fresh start, a worthwhile start with something new that's going to be valuable. It could be a body of work. It could be a new book. It could be a new position out there in a place like a school. Your love of learning and sharing. You could come up with, God only knows, a new TED Talk or something. The world is wide open for this and for you to step into that hero vibe and bring that to the people. I mean, it's a beautiful situation for you here. Let's look at the Lenormand cards and see where they go. Ah, yes, the birds. Okay, now, I see this as in two ways, and I'm going to read the light and shadow attributes of this because it is energy that you could bump up to any which way. It's all about you and how you're feeling during the time of this reading and where that places you after the reading when you start to think about what you need to do in order to grow into this hero and bring an even bigger, brighter, more expansive word of you from the heart to make a difference. So this could be your peeps. This could be that chatter that you so need in order to take that to the next level. So it could be that, but it could also be gossip. Now, the gossip side of this is really going to get into you and the shadow attributes of not being in the limelight. So suppose that you do get this opportunity, but you are really feeling disempowered by others. Maybe something doesn't go so right, and you are left holding the bag of, no laughter at your jokes or, no accolades for what you want to bring forth, nothing but, sour grapes. So what do you do with that? That is your opportunity to really pull the string on looking to see where you feel fixed the most, because it is about that reluctance to see yourself. It's like you get in your own way, the Leos do. Your personality is so big and it's so vibrant, and there you can get lost in the light that you shine. It's an interesting juxtaposition for anyone to be in. But for Leos, that is what you're here to do, to just dissect that and get in there and give it the looky-see that it needs, and to be open to that loosening of the reins and letting your philosophical self that you are with that Jupiter energy to dig in and explore a little bit more. And having said that, I'm getting the message for you to check your Rahu. It's of course you should go check your Rahu, see what you have there, see where you are being invited by your spirit guides to go and explore. The more that you can do that, the happier they are going to be. You want to manifest something for yourself? Start there. That and your ecliptic life path. Beautiful, beautiful things to know. And what's going to catch you up? That Pluto. Whatever's in your Pluto position, that's the obstacle that you are going to have to get yourself around, over, or through. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so let's end it there, and I'm going to wish you the best of luck because this is really a lot of work for you to do, but it's going to be so rewarding. It is you stepping into that gorgeous, vibrant hero self. All right, let's see what you get for a starseed card. Release anything that keeps you from your path of authenticity. That is such a Leo card. These are just such Leo readings. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness, that is perfect. So do check your path, your ecliptic, because it is your path of authenticity, and that is perfect for balling it all up into. Clearly, your moon has something to do with this. So very important. Twos, very important. Moon positions. Watch for the waxing, waning of the moon. Manifest with it and do your best. You will come into something that is going to boost who you are at your most authentic. All right. Let's move on to Decan number 3. The third Decan runs from August 13th to August 22nd. This Decan is ruled by the action planet Mars. So you are driven to achieve your goals and keep on moving forward. You also have that Leo, the lion, strength and courage. However, you are more impatient, making you more impulsive. Your enthusiasm is matched with dynamism, stubbornness. Others, they just need to get out of the way. You are also the most truthful and honest Decan, but you also have the quickest temper. So the catch-22, or the shadow side, is the temper, of course, and voicing what you see as the truth while ignoring well-meaning, unsolicited advice about you from others. It can be temperamental and blunt, which I can relate to a little bit. Being a Sagittarius rising, we are also labeled with that, having it out of your mouth before you even know you've said it. It's just like this truth channeling from source, like out of the mouths of babes. So yeah, okay. It's an interesting thing to get caught up in. You're just kind of like deer in the headlights a lot of the time. So let's turn over card number 1, the archetype cards, and see where you are being invited to take a closer look. The God card. All right. Wow. Okay, that's a biggie. But it kind of fits, doesn't it? With that Mars-led, sub-ruled sun sign thingy going on here. All right, so let's see what the light attributes are. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Like we are God within, right? That's our spirit. So the shadow attributes, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. Wow, this is such a Mars, the warrior type thing, right? You could just be shining that gorgeous Leo light and full of compassion and recognizing that force within yourself and being guided with it. It's that, well, let's remember also that this is a male dominance card. So that too could be that Leo sun masculinity that needs to be balanced somehow in the chart. So if you're a heavy Leo, right, or a heavy fixed, or in that category of having that stubborn nature, this could really take you into that shadow side. because there is where you would really be letting go of anything positive about it, that dynamism, that wanting to move forward, that full force of nature, that Mars-oriented action that you could really step into quite easily, a position of like dictator, or having wanting that, being able to take advantage of other people and situations. So, yeah, this is very interesting. This is really a catch-22. So, I'd love to know how close this is for you in your shadow attributes, if that's what we're going to be looking at. But we're going to look at both sides here, because no one's a one note. Everyone is on the spectrum, on that scale of shadow and light. So you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. And hopefully right now, you are having a good day, so that you are wide open and ready to receive whatever messages we have from Source. I'm going to do my best to channel these for you, and we will see where we end up. Okay, let's continue with this God attribute card, because it really is about recognizing the eternal force within. That is recognizing who you are at your soul level. You who are that sun self, that constant battle of ego and soul. They say ego is a myth, and it is just you being given opportunities to grow your soul. It's a beautiful way of thinking about this card, because it really is about that if we're looking at this God card at its most deepest. It is you understanding that whatever comes forth is you learning you. And it's okay, right? We're all going to lose our temper, and we're all going to be sorry for it. We're all going to turn a blind ear to something that we don't want to hear about, especially if it's about ourselves. When we are that Leo, that big personality, that strong, wanting to do the best thing for everyone, especially with this God card. But it's saying that you have to start with you. It is a benevolence and a compassion that you ultimately need to embrace about you, taking into consideration everything that does come along for you, especially with and if it is that resistance with well-meaning advice from others. How do you react when that happens? Are you self-deprecating? Can you laugh at your mistakes? Can you find the humor in someone pointing out something that you don't like about yourself? That is a tough one for anyone. But it's going to be especially tough for this third decan Leo. It's hard, and it puts people off, and it puts you off. And, the best advice that's coming through from my spirit guides, and hopefully they're hearing yours, is to just stop and take a deep breath and wait. Wait till whoever is giving you this, what they feel is amazing advice, probably from a parent or a child or a partner or a friend. Could be just someone blurting something out that has no intentions of it even being about you. You just take it about you. And what do you do with it? You wait. You wait and you listen. You listen for more. And if you don't get more, you ask questions. Tell me more about that. What do you mean? What does that supposed to mean to me? Can you explain a little more? Give me something more, whatever. Ask a question. It's like talking with a teenager. They'd never want to give you anything. You just have to keep peppering the open-ended questions. I've been there. I've done that a couple of times, and it's no fun, but it's necessary. And you do it with a complete sentence. I'm just going to put that in here. I know this is mine, but it helps. And it is you letting whoever it is you're talking with know who and what and how and what's meaningful, how it feels to you. It takes all of the guesswork out of it. Nobody can take offense because there's none to be taken. It's completely about you and how you are sharing whatever it is the situation is about. And then ask questions, lots of questions. All right, that is from Source, the questions. Okay, let's look at card number 2, which is the Spirit and Nature cards of truth. You got the 10 of clubs. So right now, you want to look and see what you have in your ecliptic position, your life path. And you want to chase that through the 7 days chart up above and see where that lands for you. That would be that X, and that is your life path. So whatever card is sitting there, go and take a look, because this is what this message is about. That and your sun position. Check and see what card you have there as well. And if whatever number it is, if it's a 5, go and look in the 5th position. Just keep chasing it. Is it a black suit? Is it a red suit? Keep chasing that. Gather whatever information you can possibly gather. Okay, so let's talk about this 10 of clubs. This is the ecliptic card. So that's why you're going to go and have a look. The black 10s are the Magician card. This is a beautiful card to be getting. This is like the most biggest card. This is being connected to Earth while having the ability to connect to Spirit, manifesting at its most highest achieving. So keep that in mind while you are contemplating what all of that information means to you, where your X is, your sun sign, your ecliptic. What do you have on your ecliptic? So, okay. So we're looking at unlimited potential. That's the Magician card. This is seeing something to fruition. It's you, right? It's perfect timing. You couldn't ask for a better card here, because you want that reassurance that you are who you need to be, that compassionate giver that you are. All Leos are. And this Mars position being sub-ruled by Mars just gives it all of that strength that the Mars card represents. In the black suit, okay? In the red suit, it is Temperance. So you've got both of those Mars possibilities going on for you. So it's really kind of interesting that it still is about you being able to find that inner balance that all Leos are here to do, to get past the blocking of not wanting to hear anything negative about yourself, to not wanting to see it, not wanting to believe it, and just coming across as exuberant and happy and beautiful and shiny. But of course, that's not the reality of life, is it? So we're going to look and see what it is that you need to be manifesting at this time. The thing again about the tens, whatever work you put into this, you are going to see come back to you in spades. This is the most beautiful card that you could possibly get. The tens also have all the abilities of all the other pip cards. So you're looking at ace through 10. You've got all those tools in your toolbox. You see that magician card. He has everything on the table that he needs. He lacks for nothing to manifest. So this one, this 10 of clubs, is all about, well, intellectual pursuits, yes, being versatile, being savvy. It's being able to adapt and being happy in the work. So it shouldn't be troublesome. It shouldn't be too hard. It should be recognizable immediately what it is that you need to further yourself down your life path. Now look to that card number and see what it is, because that is going to give you another thread to pull through your chart to see if you can gather any more information, because we are looking at you and how you show up in your spirit-driven self, spirit-led self. Not so much in the ego, but you working toward that grounded spiritual being that you are at your core. Now, this could come into direct resistance to the ego and who you believe you are at your core, who you think you hold secret from the rest of the world. Probably not. That probably has a lot to do with any unsolicited advice that you take offense to. Oh, I do love the work. You get so juicy sometimes. All right. So here we are. And that is a lot, but I can only imagine once you get to the bottom of this, what beautiful growth you're going to find. You are going to have so much on your plate to sort through and clear and move on through to brighten the path that you are on. So Spirit, your spirit guides, your daimon loves to see you on the path, loves to see you looking at your Rahu and seeing where you're supposed to be exploring and experimenting, trying to grow. It's not easy. Those are the life lessons that you learn with a struggle. And that's okay, because that tells you an amazingly more about yourself than something easy would. So go and take a look and see what you have there and pull that thread as well. You are going to get a really good looky-see as to where you are to look for that spirit led you, how to get there deeper and more grounded in it, to show up as that. I can't even imagine what kind of spiritual warrior you would become with this. I love it. Okay. Very juicy. Let's look at the Lenormand cards. Ooh, mice. Interesting. So these little rascals are here to take something from you. Wow. All right. Well, okay. So while I've all been up in that unsolicited advice from others, thinking it was well-intentioned, perhaps it's not so well-intentioned. Maybe it's meant to hurt. Yeah, there's all kinds of awful out there in the world. And there are people that would just love to push your buttons and watch you go. Wow. So that is a big eye opener into what this message could possibly be about. You know, what's the good side of these mice? Well, once they're gone, you regain what you love about yourself. Meaning that they're here, these mice of men, to try and take usurp. Is that the word? It's coming through, but usurp. That's my daimon trying to feed me, my dyslexic brain, a word. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Take something from you in the most sneakiest, devilish way possible and slip it out from under you. All silky words and unruffled feathers. And then you wake up feeling like you just got the biggest compliment ever. And turns out it was the biggest insult ever. Oh, yes, I have had that happen. And I'm here to tell you, through my daimon, who's got to be talking to yours, that is pure gold to realize. And to take it and turn it into spun gold for you. This is such a juicy bit because you, the one that is most temperamental about having unsolicited advice come your way, is exactly to look at that. That right there, that trigger, has everything to do with how you are to get deeper into your spirit-led self. Wow, you've got some shadow work to do here, and it is juicy. I am so happy to see this 10 of Clubs magician energy here. So let's remind that you've got every tool in the toolbox. You've got everything at your fingertips. You have abundance. You have the versatility. You have the manifesting abilities of the magician. Unlimited potential, opportunity. It's having every skill in the toolbox to use. And it is you seeing something through. I think the real message that's coming through is the perfect timing. And what came through earlier with waiting and asking questions. The assumption that it is meant in a positive reinforcement kind of way. Now that right there is where you start to ask your questions. Tell me more. What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on what you just said? Could you repeat that, please? And wait. Be the one who waits and let them just run out their line until they catch themselves, right? With the hook. It's one of the most beautiful things to see happen, which I have had that opportunity as well. Once you realize who you're talking to and understand that they are not who they present themselves to be, that they're actually there to undermine and manipulate and cast shadow on you, when you stop that and you see it, right? It's that vision that you know, that inkling where you are being stroked with your ego. It's a little too good to be true. Or it's a little much, or it comes through at an octave that doesn't ring true. Ask a question, and you will know immediately who the rats are in your life. I can't say that enough. That is straight through my daimon to you. All right. Wow. I can't even imagine what kind of work you do or what your environment is like. But you have this opportunity to really step into such a fabulous new you. Manifest to the best with them. You've got time. You don't have to do it quickly, but timing is important. It may be that you need to look at your chart and follow that moon and see where the moon manifesting is to your biggest ability. All right. Oh, all right. Let's see what you get for the starseed cards. What note of encouraging? Ooh, courage. Live your life fearlessly with courage, strength, and determination. Wow. You know what I think I forgot to talk about was the shadow attributes of the 10 of clubs. That could easily be where this courage may need to show up for you. Because as you're listening and soaking in what feels like accolades of who you are, and having that suddenly come through as faults and needing to ask those questions, the shadow side of the 10 of clubs would have some self-doubt about whether or not what you're hearing is real or not, or even that it's not real, right? You doubt that they would do that, or you could be lazy about it. There's a certain stubbornness to the 10s. And it could also be just feeling unworthy and letting that self-sabotage come in, where you want to hear what they've got to say so desperately that you're willing to swallow what they're selling hook, line, and sinker. But you really need to get in there and ask that question, because you want to be, according to this message, soul-led. And the only way that you can get there from here is to be asking those questions of the people around you. It doesn't hurt to ask a question. It's actually a very nice and complimentary thing to do. You just want to hear more about what they've got to say. People love it. All right. I'm going to leave it there and wish you the best of luck. And happy birthday. And as always, with all of you, happy creating.